So here we have all the colors of the iPhone 17 along with their boxes, so you can kind of see the difference in the color there to the box. Not too different, they kind of match them pretty well. But in this video, we're of course going to see all these colors in different lighting conditions. I'll have a bunch of B-roll throughout the video so you can kind of see exactly how these look. That way, when you order online, you don't got to return or anything. You know what color you want by the end of this video. So first off right there, just take it in. These are the 5 colors of the iPhone 17. And honestly, I will tell you, you can't go wrong with any of the colors. The black is great. The white is great. Mist blue, lavender, and sage. They all look fantastic. So if you specifically like one right now, I would just say you can just choose that one. You're going to enjoy it. Let's flip these around so you can see all of them right away from the front. So you can see kind of the bezels and how they show up from the front while you're using the phone here. And there we go. Here we have them all from the front. Of course, you can see that the best one that's going to look from the front, in my opinion, is going to be the black one just because it just blends in with the bezels and everything. So it even looks visually a little smaller to all the other colors while you're holding it. And I think just the overall sleekness of a black color just makes it feel a little less big or attention grabbing or anything. You know, it's just sleek. But here, a closer look right there so you can kind of see the actual colors there. And I would say the one that attracts the least attention out of these here would be probably the sage, then the blue, then the lavender, and then the silver. Those are pretty close though. They're both reflecting a lot. Obviously, the silver is going to be the worst offender. It is really bright when you see it there from a distance, actually. So keep that in mind if you're interested in the silver. But I know that some of you do like that contrast. So if you do, then this one's it right here. And from the front, it actually looks very similar to the Pro Silver. You can see right there, kind of a similar effect there since they're both aluminum this year here. And they feel very similar. They look very similar. And so you can see both of the white colors together here. And I honestly prefer the white of the 17 by a long shot. Had the Pro been actually full silver, like just all silver throughout, I would have preferred this 100% since I've been wanting a silver phone for a really long time. But this kind of contrast right there kind of just ruined it for me, enough to put me off the Pro series this year a little bit. And in case you're wondering, like, should you go for a Pro or should you go for this one right here? I honestly do recommend this one. I think it has everything you could possibly need. I also prefer the feeling of this phone in the hand, believe it or not. This one does have the soft rounded edges and stuff, but I really do hate that they kind of put this back here. Just I'm not the biggest fan of it. And overall, feeling wise, like for a Pro phone, it's not feeling great. I really do prefer how this whole phone feels back here and how it looks and everything. Especially that we get these awesome colors to choose from. So please do not be swayed by having a third camera on the back, especially with everyone doing all the zoom stuff and everything, trying to kind of bait you into it. Forget the zoom, just choose which color you like the most. This camera is fantastic on this thing. Now let me stack these here so you can see all the sides here on the aluminum, and you can kind of see how the colors reflect there. They do kind of change a little bit depending on the lighting, but overall not super reflective. They're a very, very matte finish, and I really like them all. I will say that kind of the lavender and the green, I'm not as big of a fan as I am of their back colors, if that makes sense. I prefer their back colors to the colors on the side here. I think the blue one matches pretty well to the back color for me, and it's kind of equally as good there. And of course, the silver and the black I think are just perfect. They match the whole aesthetic of the phone. Not saying that these two don't, but I don't know how to explain it. They just look a little bit light for me for what I would have chosen. Now, since these aren't Pro models, they don't color the little screws here at the bottom or the accents, but I mean, obviously that's perfectly fine. That's not going to affect anything. But all the antenna lines and everything are colored nicely, so you can see there the accents. Here we have the action button up here this year, and that all looks very nice. At the top, another antenna line. And on the right side, the sleep and wake and the camera control button, which is now on these guys as well. That launches the camera. You can use that as a shutter, which is all great. I just want to point out a small little detail that I love in here. That kind of chamfered edge reflects in there around the camera button. I don't know if you can see it, but it's really nice how it has that effect. And now let's talk about one of the most important aspects of choosing a phone color, and that's if you're going to put a case on it or not. And I know most of you probably are, and that leads us into our sponsor for this video, ESR. Now, ESR has their new Cloud Series soft magnetic case for the iPhone 17, which comes in a bunch of different colors. And when choosing a phone color, it's important to know what kind of case you want on it. For example, if you really want a pink case, well, it might not be the best thing to buy the sage green phone, even though that kind of does work, but it's not going to work as well like if you put it on the white phone, because that just pairs up so perfectly and so nicely. And then we could even do something like green on green to do that really nice pairing here. And we can see all the accents, how great that looks on the green here popping through. Now, the great thing about the Cloud Series case that I have here is that we have this awesome camera guard that's gonna protect all the internals of the camera when you drop your phone. And it also doubles as a stand right here. So it's gonna prevent any scratches to the lenses and at the same time allow you to watch TikToks or just watch videos while you're eating breakfast or something. And it's super adjustable too, from 15 degrees to 69 degrees. Here, let's go ahead and put black and blue because I do want to see that combo, and that is really nice. Look at that. So one of my favorite things about these cases is the MagSafe on here. It's incredibly strong, has 1400 Gs of magnetic strength. So when you attach it to something, it's just simply not gonna fall off easily at all. So if you have like a car mount, a bike mount, or anything like that, you can trust it on there. It's just great. And the case is still super slim with a 2.2 millimeter slim back right here. So it doesn't add any bulk to your phone. It's also such a soft silicone to the touch here. And here, let's do this blue case with the black phone real quick. And so it's really important that you choose a phone color that's also gonna go with the case color you're gonna get. So that's ESR's Cloud Series magnetic case. You can check it out down below in the description. And thanks to ESR for sponsoring this video. Now, what about smudges? Like, how often is your phone gonna look dirty or clean? And that is very important. And that's a note mainly for the black one here, where the smudges are super noticeable. Obviously, these were cleaned right before the video, but basically, if your hands are sweaty or greasy, or you go to the gym or you use chalk to lift or anything like that, this is going to look like absolutely disgusting. You're gonna see all the smudges and everything. And even though these backs are really matte finished and are gonna do a great job of hiding day-to-day smudges and stuff like that, it's still gonna end up building up and look much dirtier than really any of the other colors that are here. Now, if we were to really nitpick here, the white one is gonna show the least of all of them because it's the lightest shade here. So if you want the absolute cleanest look, then definitely white, and then maybe just choose a colored case. And that's the great thing about a white phone, is you can just always swap the case to basically anything and it's gonna work so well. I bought an iPhone Air in the white color for myself, and I also bought an orange case because I kind of want a little bit of orange this year. But had I gotten the black phone, I don't really want to go for that Halloween vibe, and just white works with orange really well, for example, unless you really want that specific vibe. The most versatile phone color for a case is definitely always white. However, this year I would definitely go for this blue color because it's just absolutely stunning. It has like just the right amount of saturation for me. I think the green one would have won if it was just a little bit more saturated, but it really does have really calm vibes. I was saying in the unboxing video, this could have been called matcha, since this one's called blue mist, or what is it, cloud mist? No, just blue mist. Mist blue. So it could have just been mist and matcha. Lavender is just perfect for this phone here. This is just the perfect name. And that trio there just looks so fantastic. I love the three of them together. Look how good that looks. It looks like a ad. One of my favorite things about these colors is those camera bars, especially on the blue, since it's so kind of saturated and punched, but they all look fantastic. They have that candy aesthetic to them that looks so, so nice. And then the rings around the lenses here also pop so nicely. They don't pop as much on the lavender here as they do on the green or the blue, but they still just look so, so nice. And of course, the Apple logos are also tinted to the color of the phone. Now here specifically, I wanted to show you them while talking and texting so that you can see them a little bit more from a distance, kind of imagine how you would look holding this phone, talking with the phone. And so we'll just go straight in order. So feel free to kind of just skip around and find the color you want. Black right here looks, of course, very sophisticated and almost kind of standard or boring depending on how you view a black color like this. Like, it obviously doesn't stand out, and it's going to look like basically previous generation blacks to most people. Most people aren't gonna be like, oh, that's like a lighter shade of black, so that must be the new 17 or something, or that's how the camera lens looks. So if you like to show that you have the iPhone 17, the latest iPhone, then definitely black is not the way to go. But if you like to hide that you have the new iPhone, well then, the black one's perfect. Next, we have the white one, which is going to pop so much and it's going to be seen from a mile away. But again, same problem as the black. If you like to be known that you have the latest phone, then this is not going to be it. People are just going to think, oh, that's a white iPhone. That could be an SE. That could be last year's. That could be from 5 years ago for all they know. And so you're still not showing that you have an iPhone 17. And that's either a pro or con for you. However, it is such a clean color. The smudges are really never going to show. And the scratches, of course, are not going to be as noticeable as on the black or really any of the other colors because they're all painted. Meanwhile, this one is not. So all the scratches on here are just going to look a little less worse than the other colors, in my opinion. The mist blue here is fantastic. It has kind of energy to it. It's calm, I guess not as calm as the sage, but it is very, very calm and understated a little bit. It's going to go well with a lot of case colors out there. And of course, there could be a lot of people that know that you have the 17 because this is quite a specific shade of blue. And even if they don't, they know that you are a person who likes a fun little blue color on their phone, which is always nice to kind of perceive outward to the world if you like to kind of express yourself as much as you can. But yeah, I just love this blue color. Now for the lavender, it's much calmer than the blue, I would say, but it still does attract some attention. I would say it's not the calmest of the bunch. Still, sage would take that for me. However, it is such a nice pastel color. Now, it does have the potential drawback that from a distance on a bright day, it might look a little bit like a white phone. It might get washed away since it doesn't have that punchy saturation we've gotten with previous purples in the past. But it still just looks really good, really nice. And if you like pinks, purples, and kind of lighter pastel colors, this is going to be fantastic for you. Lastly, we have the sage, which I think is going to be the calmest one. For some reason, every time that I've used this one the past couple of days and kind of just held it, it feels very calm. And I'm just someone that gets really affected by colors. Like colors do have an effect on me. And this one just feels so earthy and subdued while still having such a nice shade. Like if one of these phones did yoga, like this is the color that would do it. And it's just such a nice color. And honestly, if it came down to it, I had to pick right now, I would still be a little conflicted between the mist blue and this sage. I like the possibility of the sage maybe being matched with some cases that give it an outdoor theme. So even an orange case or something like that might look super cool. But yeah, basically all these are just fantastic colors. It's really hard to choose. And then just real quick, again, the scratches and stuff, the one that's going to scratch the most would be the black because it's just going to show the scratches the most here on that kind of finish that it has. And so the winner is always going to be a pure color like natural titanium, or in this case, just the bare aluminum. Now, real quick, I just want to do these random ones where it's the black on the Air versus the black on the 17 and the white on the Air versus the white on the 17. So you can see the differences because there are, and I think this is called space black, and then the Air white is called cloud white. So both colors here are definitely more of what the name is because now you can see that the black phone looks like gray, and it kind of is. If you want an actual black phone, well, only the Air has it this year because the closest thing we got with the Pro was a blue color here, which is really, as you see there, nothing like black. It really is blue. Now you put a case on it and stuff, it'll subdue it enough that it might look black, but you can see it's not there. So the white 17 is also not a pure like cloud white like the Air is. So if you don't like off-whites, once you have this one in person, you might not be the biggest fan of it. However, unless you put them side by side, it basically looks completely white when you just have it by itself. But mainly here, the big comparison really goes for anyone wanting the black phone that it's just not a pure black. Maybe that's not a bad thing because you can see the fingerprints on the Air are significantly worse. It's why I didn't buy a black Air. Much worse with that coating. So the coating they gave you on the 17, whatever this is just significantly better, even though I do like the black aesthetic of this phone. And then maybe one more comparison is the blue Air to this blue so that you can see just how different they are here. So this blue Air has like almost zero saturation on the blue. And the only way to really see that it's blue is let's put the white next to it so you can kind of see that shade of blue happening there. Yeah, I kind of wanted the blue air, but then I saw it in person and I was like, it's just a little too subtle for me where I just would rather have white at that point. I wish it would have looked like this mist blue. That would have been crazy. I would have just pre-ordered that on day one. And yeah, so this is all the colors of the iPhone 17. Which one are you going to get, or which one do you want? Which one are you dreaming of? Which one are you just the most interested in here looking at all of them? I'm definitely stuck here between the sage and the blue. I wouldn't get the white or the black this year because I really do like these two colors. Purple for me, I really only like a very saturated purple, like the one we got. Ooh, I don't even remember at this point. Like, what was it? iPhone 14, iPhone, something like that, where it was the special edition for the year. That one's the one that I really like. I don't like deep purple at all, and I do like this one a lot, but my favorite would be that purple that we got that year. That is quite escaping me really which one it was. So that's the only reason I'm not keeping it at high of a tier as the sage or the blue. But yeah, that's it for this video. Thank you for watching. Please like this video. It helps a ton. And if you comment down below, it'll also push the video out a little bit more too, which helps the channel out a ton. And I appreciate you for watching. I'll catch you in the next comparisons. I have the Air coming up and also the Pros.